And yet they still ignore the fact that it says that there were mighty men of valor that were actually 10 times stronger than the normal man. Now, these weren't men that were giants. They weren't like the 12-foot, tall descendant of some kind of race that wasn't from the planet. We're talking about a normal person who ended up being given something what we might call a supranatural power. And there's a video that I sent you all that is kind of going to be well, you know how they always have to tell us what's coming, right? Well, it's really it's kind of a action movie, so you might need to close your eyes. I don't know, but
how did you send it to us? Out of curiosity, did you send it to us online?
Skype, so it should be in your Skype. But
okay.
And another thing that I thought that everybody would like to do, because we were on this conference call and we were talking about people being able to grab or understand the message, quote, unquote. And some people can and some people can't, and sometimes it's just really hard for people to really grasp it. Now, when you begin to see, stars or meteors in the sky coming, and you watch it, and then all of a sudden it makes a 90-degree turn. Those aren't meteors, and so some people think, oh, well, it just ricocheted off the planet. Yeah, right. They don't ricochet 90 degrees, So what? So what I actually also have here for people that want to help with their family, understand that there are really weird things going on out there, is an opportunity for them to show it. Now, they're going to have to make a little effort. They're going to have to go through a little training, but it's all online. And here's what it is. The NASA's Goddard Space Flight Center, which is the head office for a project that they've got, is trying to distribute some data to scientists all around the world after they just launched some satellites. These satellites are in tandem to each other, work in tandem, but one is called the forward or leading satellite. One is called the behind, literally. And they are exact replicas of each other, and they are taking pictures of the sun in stereo 3D. And there's, one to the left, so to speak, and one to the right, but one's closer to the sun and one's orbiting out past the orbit of our planet, Earth, from the sun. And so they give this stereoscopic view at two different angles, and the data is coming so fast in order for it to, just like the Stardust Project, they need some help. Now, this is viewing the sun from near real-time data streams, and there is so much to look at, and there's so much of it to review that they're asking for volunteer help, and you have to go get some, a little bit of training, and yet it's all online, and then you actually get to get live streams of the sun. Now, have you ever seen some of these videos of the sun and what's going on around it, where it's, it's showing these spots around the sun, and there's just some really weird and strange stuff going on?
I have witnessed some of those, yes.
Okay. Well, this project is to watch solar storms. They've got a lot of people now getting ready to watch for the CMEs that are coming, and the last one was May 27th for about 3 days, and it went some other direction. And these satellites also have some other detections that you get to look at, and the storms went just past the South Pole recently and didn't hit the planet. But here's what's good about it. Here's what's neat. This is not edited material. We have the best.
Why am I going to believe that? I'm sorry, but I'm very skeptical, you know.
Well, when I worked on that project, they didn't edit anything. They wanted the raw material. They don't think anybody is smart enough to see that when something's sitting there or going 90 degrees across the surface of the sun in one direction, and all of a sudden that it's anything. They think that the public is so stupid they can just talk them out of it. Okay? I mean, they really do. They don't care. And they have too much of it. I mean, these dust particle examinations were absolutely they were by the hundreds of thousands, and they didn't even have the staff to look at all of them. The effort, though, is worth examining, is what I'm saying, even if there could be the potential that they're, editing it. But when you see these pictures, if they're editing it, they're doing a pretty sloppy job because there's stuff you can see. And so if you go to it, you might actually be able to witness it for yourself. There's going to be other things that you're going to be asked to do. So, in order to get access to it, you have to know what a little CME is and what to watch for. That's coronal mass ejection, by the way.
Yeah.
Go to solarstormwatch.com and just sign up.
Okay.
It's free. You don't, and people could actually start seeing things that may actually be laid on for the first time of activity around the sun, because these pictures put the sun in a big, huge picture. Very, very graphic. And you can see the sun in you can see it. It's like kind of like a living thing there, and it's actually moving, and you can see it undulating. You can see all the activity on there, and you can also see all the activity around it. So I thought it would just be fun if people knew about it. It's called solarstormwatch.com. Just go there, sign up. There's a good chance you might see something, and sometimes what I'm saying is sometimes if you do have something, of course you can keep that audio or that little video, and you can show it to somebody and say, "What do you think that is?" And I think that might just be of interest to people to take an opportunity there to get into something that's going to be kind of fun, but also could be very, very. You can get that same kind of feeling doing this kind of stuff almost as you could be actually being there. Of course, you can't be at the sun, but being at a megalith site is absolutely jaw dropping at times. So you just sit there in awe, and I think sometimes these kind of projects can bring that kind of inspiration, to the certain people. So I thought it would be of interest.
Absolutely. Well, to get back to this situation, though, because I was very interested in what you were talking about in regard to Steve Quayle and some recent announcements he had made, and whether or not those announcements were actually true, and if they weren't true, then what is going on there? And, obviously we don't want to rake anyone over the coals, and that's not the purpose here, but it is important to sort of start drilling down, because people are getting information and they're taking it very seriously. And we need to understand what it is going on here behind the scenes in regard to the BP spill and to whether there's evacuations, not evacuations, and the seriousness thereof, as well as, other things that may be coming down the pike. Okay.
Well, I'm willing to tell what I know is absolute truth and actually is involved from my firsthand, the Waterman files. And so I'm not that would not be slander or libel, because it's true. And I can tell you, okay?
That's fine. But let's preface this by saying that you have a background in intelligence. That doesn't mean you're intelligent.
That's okay.
We love you, Dr. Waterman.
I I would rather be viewed as dumb. That way, I got anything I exhibit that might be a little above that would be actually